Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoop, back with another live Wi-Fi battle. Today, I'm facing a buddy of mine, Corey, aka Banded Caterpie, and we're facing off in the OU tier. And I brought my Mega Alakazam team with the defensive Sylveon, the Tank Chomp, the defensive Pivot Rotom Wash, the Spadef Heatran, and the Banded Scizor, along with my Mega Alakazam that has the perfect coverage and the Encore. Should be a fairly nice battle, and my opponent has a pretty stout looking team consisting of Dragonite, Donphan, Mega Lopunny, Sylveon, Scizor, and Thunderous Therian. Our best lead's actually going to be Rotom, but he will probably lead Thunderous Therian. And in any case, we need to lead with, I think we still lead with our Rotom. Yeah, I think we still lead with our Rotom, and if he leads Thunderous, we will switch immediately to the Heatran. Yeah, this should be fine. Just gonna write his team down real quick. It was Dragonite, Donphan, Mega Lop, Sylveon, right? Scizor, and Therian. Okay. And like I said, he would probably lead out with the Thunderous, but Rotom was still our best lead. But now we switch directly to our Heatran. Yeah, we're just going to switch out the Heatran here. He might go for Nasty Plot, he might go for Volt Switch, he might go for Thunderbolt. He looks to be very, he may even be modest. I think our play here is to just Lava Plume. I think that's just a fine play overall. He goes for Focus Blast. This might knock out. It does knock out, which is fine. Now we can bring in our Mega Alakazam and trace the Volt Absorb. And he is a Life Orb. Now we can just Mega Evolve here and fire off a safe and very powerful Psychic. He probably goes into the Scizor. Yeah. He may have Pursuit, but we're going to stay in and we're going to fire off a Psychic. We get the Technician ability, so if we had Hidden Power Fire here, that would be insane. But we actually don't. Man, that Psychic did a lot. I'm just gonna calc that real quick. Mega Alakazam, Scissor. Psychic, the okay, it's not worth the risk right here. We just switch out the chomp. He does not have pursuit, or he did not go for it on that turn anyway, which is actually pretty good. So he goes for the U-turn. We get the rough skin and the rocky helmet damage. So he cannot switch in the psychic again. And if he does, he drops to the second one. Dragonite's a possibility. And I'm pretty sure he had a Sylveon, so I would expect that to come out. Yep. Okay, there she is. Only problem is we don't have a Heatran anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch directly into Scizor, and we're going to do what he did, and we're going to U-turn out. And hopefully get big damage on the Donphan, where we can come in with Mega Alakazam. We can come in with Mega Alakazam after this U-turn. He doesn't want a Sylveon to take damage, so he will withdraw. And he will go into Donphan, as predicted. Now we can go out to Mega Alakazam, and we should be able to knock this thing out. We do 72 to 85% with Psychic. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go into Mega Alakazam here, and we'll trace his ability and get sturdy. He may go for the Ice Shard here just to break the sturdy, but our play here is to just go for Psychic. It should knock out. This will get a very, very low row, and we do knock out. So down goes the Donphan. Okay, now he brings in the Dragonite. Okay, let's see here. Dragonite, Dragon Dance. With the scale intact, we do 33%, but let's say after the scale is broke, we do knock out after the scale is broke, assuming that he does not go for extreme speed. Let's see what he is. Extreme speed has a chance to knock out after the Dragon Dance, so we're just gonna go for Psychic. See what he wants to do here. He's probably gonna Dragon Dance, and if he does, we're gonna go for the Encore the very next turn. We're gonna go for the Encore this next turn, and unless he goes for extreme speed, we should be fine. We can lock him into Dragon Dance. Hopefully this works out. It does work out. It does work out. Yes. Haha. Okay, buddy. Now we can go for another Psychic. Now we can go for another Psychic, and it should knock out. And if he wants to switch in the Scizor or the Sylveon, that's fine with me. He does withdraw, and he brings in the Scizor, and this could kill. And if it doesn't, we do go out to Chomp every time. Yep, we go out to Chomp every time. Yeah, he knows if he goes for U-turn, he gets rough skin damage anyway. So yeah, he's going for Bullet Punch. He's going for Bullet Punch. And now the good thing is that we don't really need our Garchomp anymore. So he can bring in Dragonite and we can go for Dragon Tail. And he can bring in Sylveon and we go for Earthquake. We want to see if he's Scarfed right here. What's more important, setting up rocks maybe? Or getting damage on this Sylveon? I think setting up rocks is fine. I think rocks would help in the long term. And he is Scarfed, so that's really good to know. Sylveon. Choice specs. We're going to turn it into Scarf though. If he's timid. Okay, he still doesn't outspeed Mega Alakazam. Our play is to go into Scizor and fire off a Bullet Punch. The play might actually be to go for U-turn. Now that we know he is Scarfed. I think our best play is still to go for the Bullet Punch. And if he switches out to the Thundurus, we will switch out also. We'll switch out to our Sylveon. He does switch out into the Thundurus as predicted. But is that a 2-hit KO? Thundurus, Therian. Let's go Double Dance. Assume it's a Double Dance. So Bullet Punch actually has a chance to knock out here. I don't know if it's worth the risk. Because this thing is guaranteed major damage. I think we're actually just going to sack something. Perhaps the Rotom Wash. Actually, I'm terrified of the agility, so we're actually going to stay in and we're going to Bullet Punch again. And will we knock out? Okay, we barely miss out on the knockout, and he goes for Thunderbolt, which is actually a shame because we could have switched out, but I feared the setup, which is no bueno. No bueno, no bueno. Okay, so here we go into our own Sylveon, and if he goes into his Sylveon, that's great because we can get damage on it. But he probably goes into his Megalop. Yep, as expected. And now our best play is to fire off a Protect in case he goes for Fake Out. This is shaping up to be a pretty fun battle. It sucks I let Scizor go down to the Thundurus. I could have switched out, preserved it. And now we can go for the Hyper Voice. If he switches out, Dragonite drops and Sylveon takes pretty good damage. But he's just going to go for the return, and that's going to do very little as we are defensive. And the Megalop drops. Okay, so far so bueno. Okay, now if he brings in the Dragonite, we just Hyper Voice again. He does bring in the Dragonite, so we just Hyper Voice again. So he goes for Extreme Speed, That's not going to do much. And our hyper voice will drop it. Dragonite, gone. Now we have just the Sylveon to deal with. Okay, this is actually looking pretty good in our favor. Let's see how much a Scarf Sylveon can even do to Alakazam with hyper voice. Let's even assume it's modest. It does 92% max. We're going to protect her here just to get a little leftovers back, and we're going to see how much damage this is going to do to us. It does a maximum of 45%, so I think just firing off a hyper voice is fine. Okay, if there's no crit, we don't die. Okay, we barely live. We get pretty good damage off. Is it enough for Mega Alakazam to clean up? Not quite yet. Unless he is 0 HP investment, in which we can 2-hit KO from this range. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go into Rotom, and we're going to get a slow Volt Switch off. Assuming we live, that is. Yeah, best play is Volt Switch to make sure we land at least some damage off. Okay, that's a critical hit, and we barely live. Okay, that about fucked things up, that critical hit. That about fucked everything up. But here we can go into Alakazam and show off his amazing speed and power. This should be a knockout. This should be a knockout. And barring crits, he can't knock us out with one hit. And that's a good game. Good game, Corey. Very fun. Come out with a narrow 2-0 victory. And that's GG. That's really, really fun, GG. That was a solid OU battle. We'll just save that battle real quick. Okay, we're not going to be able to save that battle. He went offline and we weren't able to, it showed his disconnection or whatever. We weren't able to save that battle video, but nonetheless, that was a good game. Mega Alakazam putting in the finest of work. When he went for the Dragon Dance and we encored him in the Dragon Dance, that was probably the, not the turning point, but where we gained the most momentum. And we just kind of handled things from there. Scizor going down was fine because, like I said, we had our own Sylveon and Rotom Wash to kind of whittle the Sylveon down to Mega Alakazam range. And that was a very good game. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.